program aims young people industry. They've just started their placement yesterday. I do hope that you find the meeting to be interesting and enjoyable. Undoubtedly, you have the easiest job out of all of us. And I do hope that you enjoy the rest of your placement and wish you every success in whatever your future takes you. Please feel free to ask any questions. Martin, whom you've met already, I'm sure will be happy to answer. And we have lots of fantastic people throughout the partnership as you go through your placement, if you have any questions at all. We do have some weighty business on the agenda today, so I won't belabor the introduction any further. I'll make some comments on items as we get to them. And at this point, I would turn to Emma for the housekeeping, please.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning and welcome to the meeting of the Integration Joint Board. Today's meeting is a hybrid meeting and we have some people in the Health Village and others participating remotely. If anyone joining online would like to ask questions, please use the raise your hand function or indicate in the meeting chat and I will alert the Chair. The meeting is being recorded and published online after the meeting. All members leave their camera on, but switch off their microphone when not speaking. In the event of a fire, you should follow the fire exit signs to the left of me, there, and continue to stairwell 1, downstairs to fire exit A on the ground floor. The fire assembly point is located in the Frederick Street multi-storey car park at the right-hand side on the ground floor. I will now do a roll call and ask that members confirm their attendance in this call, so that this is clear in the recording and can also be recorded in the minutes. Chair.
Present.
Vice Chair.
Present.
David Blackburn.
Present.
Art Burrow.
Present.
Councillor Fairfield. Present. Councillor Craig.
Present.
Richie Johnson.
Present.
Councillor Malik.
Present.
Jim Curry.
Present.
Jamie Donaldson.
Present.
Amanda Foster.
Present.
Jenny Gibb.
Yes, good morning.
Joy Miller. Maggie Hepburn.
Present.
Caroline Howard. Present. Amy McDonald.
Present.
Shona McFarlane. Phil Mackey.
Yep, I'm here.
Fiona Mitchell-Hill.
Present.
Ben Simpson.
Present.
And we have apologies from Stephen Fryer, Kenneth McAlpine, and Judith McLennan. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks very much, Emma, and welcome everyone. For the purposes of planning, can I ask if any members wish to raise any items of any other business that are not currently on the agenda? Okay. I'd like to propose, if members are content, a slight reordering of the agenda for the purpose of relevance and follow through. I'm proposing that we swap the entirety of section 8 with the entirety of section 7. So for clarification, we will run the agenda through until item 6. We'll take item 6, then take the items at 8, which is to do with the strategy. We'll come back and take the performance and finance at 7, and then continue as on the agenda. Are members happy to agree that by consensus?
Agreed.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Takes me on to what I guess I've done the welcome. So declarations of interest or transparency statements. Does anyone wish to intimate any? I will make my usual transparency statements, which for the ease of minuting are the same as at the previous meeting. Namely, that I'm a member of the Diverse Experiences Advisory Panel, a named partner in the Scottish Government's Mental Health and Wellbeing Strategy. I'm also the lived experience representative on the Scottish Government's Mental Health and Wellbeing Strategy Leadership Board. I also declare a transparency statement, perhaps it should be an interest, but we'll go for a transparency statement with respect to the video that we're showing this morning. Out of an abundance of caution, in that I am currently on the books of North East Sensory Services as a client. And I also work closely with a member of staff with respect to matters of city planning and accessibility. I don't believe this causes me any difficulties in that regard. 3.1, termination of exempt business. Are we happy to agree that the appendix at item 10.1 for the additional circulation on procurement is taken as exempt? Can we agree that?
Agreed. Yeah.
We are. Thank you very much. We therefore come to 4.1, which is the presentation, and I would invite Maggie if you wanted to say a few words before we have the video played.
Thanks, Hussein. I just wanted to say that this video was made as part of the work to showcase what people have used the Just Transition Participatory Budgeting Fund for. So that was a fund, it's obviously a Scottish Government fund over a 10-year period. And this particular part of the Just Transition Fund was decided by public vote. So, and it was a capital only fund, which meant that people had to organise projects that required capital spend, which is quite challenging without any additional revenue spend to support it. So Ness, we're very lucky and very pleased to be voted on by the Aberdeen general public to be one of the recipients of the Just Transition Fund. And hopefully in the next couple of weeks, there'll be an announcement about the next year of the fund coming out. So keep your eyes peeled for that when it comes and share it around your networks. Thanks.
Thanks very much, Maggie. If we can play that video, and if colleagues have any questions, we'll maybe come to those afterwards.
I don't think anybody online is getting any sound from the video. Okay, we're just the folks online, the technology, it has some gremlins with it. So we're going to restart that in order that the folks online can hear that video as well.
More, and some of them, their sight or hearing deteriorates over time. They run a full schedule of activities in the school holidays and on in-service days, and the activities help our children and young people grow in confidence, independence and social skills. Just gives them the opportunity to
it's recorded. But it was, I think we're okay to continue. Sorry, it's technology gremlins today.
And now. 4.2, which is of the last IGB on the 13th of May. In taking the minutes, I propose to put a single question on each minute. Does any member object? No member object. Thank you very much. So can I first ask if there are any questions or comments on the minute of the last IGB meeting, pages 5 to 12 in your pack? Okay. I just want to, there's a point under 6.2, which is page 3 of the minute, where there was a commitment to bring back a paper on abortion care to the next meeting of the IGB, which is today. That was circulated by a service update on the 14th of May. As Mark, you particularly had concerns here. I just wondered, Sandy, if you wanted to give any update on that, just for clarification.
Sandy?
Thanks, Shane. Yes, I'll have a service update circulated to the IGB by the end of this week.
Okay. Is everyone content with that?
Yes.
We are. Thank you very much.
Yep.
That being the case, if there are no other questions, are we happy to approve the minutes as an accurate reflection?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Thank you very much. I turn now to the minute of the Risk Audit and Performance Committee of the 30th of April 25, pages 13 through 16 in the pack. Martin, as chair, did you want to make any comments on this?
No, all in order.
Thank you very much. Are we happy to note that?
Agreed.
Thank you very much. 4.4, the business planner, pages 17 through 20. Are there any questions on the business planner, please? Nope, no questions. Okay. I would draw your attention to lines 16 through 18. The explanations are in the business planner. Where relevant, they will be circulated through service update. That being the case, are we happy to approve?
Agreed.
Thank you. 4.5 is the insight planner on page 21. Any questions on that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chair. I have a question about the kind of direction of the IGB Insights work. Will it reflect our new strategic plan? Will the work involved reflect the work that's been done in designing and hopefully agreeing the route plan and the priorities? And just to make sure that these sessions are linking in with our very serious commitment, our very serious structured commitment to future planning and finance management.
Alison, do you want to?
Yeah, Alistair's there.
Yes, absolutely. We do try to bring topics forward to the insight sessions that are relevant to our strategic plan and to our delivery. So that will continue. But should the new strategic plan be approved?
Thank you very much.
Any other questions?
Sure.
Yeah.
On the same sort of theme, I think that finance updates would probably be, in my opinion, better if they were a bit more regular, just so that we're watching as the finance goes through the year. It's just a comment that we have in NHS Grampian. We have a regular sort of monthly finance update, which is very useful. I wonder if that's something that we should be thinking about, not necessarily monthly, but through these sessions. I know there's something in February, but just a comment more than anything else. Thank you, Chair.
Alison or Amy, Fiona, if one of you want to respond to that.
So I can start, and Amy or Alison, feel free to. So I think happy to do something. I think we are working out how we use RAPSI to make sure that we've got that performance going through RAPSI on our finance matters. And then obviously we'll have our quarterly reports coming to the IJB, but we can absolutely add them into an insight if there's something in time.
Can I ask, and this is maybe a silly suggestion, but I'll make it anyway. Is it possible for the finance papers that go to RAPSI, obviously with your indulgence, Martin, as chair, if those were to be circulated to all members for information and reference? Would that be helpful?
I think that would be very useful. Yeah.
Would you be content with that? Martin?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can we make a note of an action to take that one, please? Thanks. Any other points? Thanks very much. And can I just also put on record my thanks to Alison. I know these sessions don't run themselves. She has put in a power of work to get these to where they are and to bring in topics that are important, useful, but also really interesting as well. So thank you, Alison, for all your work. And I would encourage members to attend where able. Thank you for that. Turning now to 4.6, the Chief Officer report on pages 23 to 32, and Fiona to introduce the paper as you wish.
Thank you, Hussein. So as Suzanne said, the paper is there. Very happy to take any questions, but I guess I would just like to highlight today, we are doing a further community appointment day over in the Vaccination and Wellbeing Centre for chronic pain. And we've got a plan over the next number of months to continue to do this frequently, up to 2 a month. And that's to help us with some of our waiting lists for our podiatry service, which I think is really good, just try to build on the success of those. I think there's been a variety of things happening across the last quarter, and the information's there. And I guess it's maybe not there, but I thought it might be helpful to give you an update on the CFO, because obviously this is Amy McDonald's last meeting today, but we are interviewing this week. We have got some candidates applied. So we did go through one recruitment process and we didn't appoint, but we have been successful again in a second round of recruitment and have got candidates to interview. The process starts tomorrow and concludes with the interview panel on Thursday. So hopefully we will appoint, but if not, we have another plan with my colleagues from ACC to ensure that we have that oversight and governance continuing and support from a financial aspect. Thank you, Hussein. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Fiona. Any questions for Fiona, colleagues?
Yes. Thank you, Chair. I've got 2 questions. And the first one is on the social work practitioner funding, the Invest to Save initiative from the Scottish Government. That's very welcome investment, and it seems to be some really useful long-term transformational work there around digital technology-enabled care, so forth. It's really good to read. I'm just wondering if there's any further details that can be provided. Is this initiative likely to have a major impact? Does it involve large numbers of social work practitioners? Is it quite a specialised area that will benefit? A little more information would be quite useful to know of the impacts.
Yeah, happy to start. And Claire's here if I get it wrong, but I guess we were going to take a paper here today about our digital stuff, but we decided because we got this funding that we didn't have time to do the paper within the timelines. So we will definitely take a paper with more detail to the next IGB, Martin. But yes, I think this is a really exciting opportunity for us. And as you say, that transformation, and it will be for all of our social work colleagues. And we're going to absolutely start with adult, but I see Claire looks like she's wanting to come in, so I'm going to stop speaking. Thanks, Claire.
Thank you for the question. So that there was a paper coming, a business case coming to this committee, as Fiona said, and I had requested to come to the next one because funding just came in a couple of days before the business case was coming. So I wanted to kind of give a full report with all the detail of the work that we're going to get that funding for. We are starting in adult social work, so we have probably around 450 social workers right across adult services, and then I think maybe 300 in children, so I'm kind of clear. So that will, and if you The paper that we took to the IGB earlier in the year highlighted the efficiencies that could be made in the practitioner on, because that would save people coming back to the office or going back to their house to be filling in the contact records or reports or information. So it is going to create a lot of efficiencies and capacity within the system. So a report will come to the next one with all the work that we have been doing and are doing in our digital journey.
Great, thank you very much. I think that it is a significant resource. It's good to know that very careful targeted use will be made, and that's going to support and develop our initiatives, our ambitions around digital. And I thought the diagram was very helpful, but it was quite intriguing because it was providing us information. So that further paper will be really useful to get more details. And could I also ask about the Wellbeing Festival? Did that, or was it aimed at contributing towards staff well-being? Or, I mean, I appreciate that it's mainly community oriented. Just get a sense of kind of the audience who were involved in that, because I presume that there'll be an evaluation, there'll be some consideration whether to run it again, whether to redesign, tweak it in some way. Just get a sense of the value of that festival.
Yeah, happy, thanks, and thank you, Martin, for your question. So the Wellbeing Festival was building on the success of the Granite Gathering that we'd had previously, and Aberdeenshire, this is their 7th year of running a Wellbeing Festival. So what the agreement was that we would make it a regional event. So we would piggyback from our learning from the Granite Gathering, and we would then work with our partners across Aberdeenshire and Moray to enable us to do that across the region, because we were mindful that people would travel between boundaries. So rather than exclude people, that we would make it inclusive for all. So it was mainly for the general population, but absolutely staff had the opportunity to go along to any of the events and experience the opportunity of the services that were being promoted throughout the month-long event.
Okay, thank you. Some really useful, carefully designed activities I can see. I've listed there. Great stuff. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin. Any other questions? Mark?
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Fiona, for the report. It was very pleasing to read a number of good news stories coming through the report. And it's more of a comment than anything else. And I think we should highlight the award achieved by Sean Duffy in that. And it was really excellent to see that all of the services he received excellent care inspectorate set of ratings. And I think that's really an example of a member of the partnership and promoting that through. It speaks volumes, I think, of what we're providing for our persons. So I just wanted to highlight that more than anything else. And other good aspects of the community appointment days are a really excellent way forward. And I think it's been good to see another one of those coming through. So just a comment more than anything else. Thank you.
Thanks very much for that, Mark. And you've obviously been reading my notes in advance.
Mark stole mine first.
Congratulations also to SRS, who also won an award, and they're doing great work throughout the community. We need more of that, and it's really very much appreciated. Mohammed.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you very much, Fiona, for your report. So my question in relation to finance. What is the current forecast for the year-end outcome? Has the position improved or worsened since last quarter?
I'll let Amy come in. Amy, if that's okay.
Yeah, thanks, Fiona. Thanks, Councillor Malik. So as we sit today at the 1st of July, we're very much on, we're predicting break-even outturn for the end of the year, which means that we anticipate making our £14.354 million of savings.
Thank you very much, Amy. Are there any imminent financial risk dependencies not yet reported?
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Was this just about you just asking about, is there any financial risk which might prevent us reaching our end goal? Was that the essence of the question?
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my question, yeah. Any financial risk?
So not that we can foresee just now. I mean, we've documented our financial risk and kind of we understand where it's coming from. I think probably perhaps one of the areas that we do see risk in, although it's not materialised yet, is that some of our commission service providers are looking for greater than inflationary funding increases from us this year. We don't have, if you like, any of that in writing just now, but we're just picking up those murmurings, and certainly we have to work with providers to prevent that actually becoming a reality. I think that's probably one of the areas that we will have risk ongoing throughout the year. We also are aware that the pay award, we have budgeted at 3% for pay award, and I'll come on to talk about that when we look at the medium-term financial forecast. We're aware that some pay awards, they may be settling slightly higher than that. If that's the case, there is always a little bit of risk around that until we have absolute clarity on how that will be funded. So those are kind of the areas that we're very, very much aware of and working with just now.
Thank you.
I'll go to John and then Richie. So John.
Yeah, thanks. A couple of comments rather than question. Well, one's a question, one's a comment. Comment is we've got a very strong emphasis on transparency. And what I like about these reports is that they're written in plain language and are commendably jargon free. So in terms of a lay person, member of the public wanting to know what's going on, it's very readable. So well done to officers for that. My other my question is around the community appointment days. I think I certainly see through social media quite a lot of good publicity about these, and I'm just wondering if there's anything further we think we might do to get even greater publicity.
Yeah, I guess we're getting quite a good footfall, and I guess as we build on them, that North East Scotland network will build and increase as well. But yeah, we certainly look at our social media aspect and try and promote that way. But we're also using our community connections, so with our local empowerment groups and such like to promote. But I see Sandy wants to come in, so I will let Sandy come in.
I think one of the things the organisers of the different community appointment days are conscious of, John, is that there's a set of people who are invited, specific patients are invited. And I can recall, I mean, I'm all for maximum publicity, but I can recall the last one, not today's one before. I think it was post-dementia support. And there was caution, quite reasonably, from the organisers that X amount of people had been invited, and it didn't want to place swaths by people coming in and to kind of get in the way, so to speak, or the people who've been invited who might be quite cautious and kind of anxious. So there's a balance there. So I'm all for what you're making, John. I think there are different events have different opportunities to maximise publicity. So they're not all the same in that regard. We just have to kind of go with what the organisers are planning to do in terms of that balance. That makes sense, John.
That makes complete sense. Thanks.
Richie.
Yeah, thanks, Hussein. A comment and an ask. Just a comment on the overall paper that was really helpful. Just a variety of updates, and I too like the community appointment days and the focus this time in COPD. Just that wider awareness raising, not just for those that suffer from it, but those that perhaps families or friends or carers around about that. The ask is partly been touched on, and it was on the social work practitioner app funding. And dead happy for us to come back in the next report. It's under Invest to Save, the budget's under Invest to Save, it references a 15% efficiency saving. Just a bit more information about how that 15% will be translated. If you like, is it going to be capacity or money or a bit of both? But just for the report, that would be very, very helpful. Thanks.
Anything you want to comment on that, Fiona, or are you happy to bring it back?
We'll happily pick that up in our next paper.
Any more questions for Fiona? Can I just echo the comments that have been made, Fiona? This is, as always, an excellent report to a very high standard, and absolutely agree with John's point about simple language. I always think we should have papers that pass the grandmother test. You should be able to have your grandmother read them at the breakfast table and be able to understand them. And I think the papers that we have do just that. So thank you very much. Turn to the recommendations on page 23 to help detail. Board would be happy to support.
I have an amendment.
Have an amendment. I'll come to your amendment in
just a moment. Just let me explain for the benefit of those watching what we have before us. I think most members have been here when we had this procedure previously, but in order for complete transparency, we essentially have two schools of thought as to how we proceed with this. We have the recommendations in the paper, which we call the motion. Mohammed has an alternative suggestion as to how we proceed, which is known as the amendment. In order to deal with this, I must first be satisfied that legal colleagues have had a tedious opportunity to look over the amendment for legal competence, and I would ask if someone can give us that assurance.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much. So what we will do is we will first consider the amendment individually. The amendment will be circulated by email, and I propose to allow around 5 minutes from the time it's received for us to consider it. I would remind members, just as a point of guidance, that should the amendment attract sufficient support to move to debate, regardless of voting, all members are welcome and able to speak in the debate, and I therefore do encourage all members to read the amendment. Can we have that circulated? And I will provide further guidance once we've had a chance to look at what Mohammed is proposing.